The Valorant renaissance is here. After being sick of the same old, the community finally has content that fixes one of the biggest problems the game has. And it comes at the perfect time where we, as a community, can change the game forever. Hey y'all, your daily reminder that we have theScore esports merch available. Check it out with the link in the description below. But if you're Konosuke Takeshita, I will personally hand deliver it with a box of Cinnabon, just how you like it. Well, we are back for another patch video, but this time I would like to offer an idea, a pretty dramatic idea. I believe patch 6.0 is what has fixed Valorant. Settle down, babes, I haven't quite finished yet. Before we can talk about what was fixed, we have to talk about what was wrong with Valorant in the first place. No game is perfect, but Valorant in particular had a couple of glaring issues that the community kept bugging Riot for solutions for. Players insta-locking agents with no repercussions or discussion, lack of map diversity when queuing, and a supposed cascading agent lock that never really happened. Thanks, Riot, for making do a whole video on that. Not to mention deathmatch being terrible, toxic community members receiving no punishment, the list goes on. The biggest, of course, is the chamber meta. For those of you unaware, first off, count yourself blessed because you have not suffered the way we have suffered. But in all seriousness, for most of the past year, Chamber was such a broken character that he was almost a guaranteed pick, especially at higher skill levels.
I will say the game is quite boring with Chamber in the meta right now. Personally, I would love to see other Sentinels make a comeback because there's no reason to play Sentinels right now when Chamber exists in the game. Like, there's no reason to play more traditional Sentinels because Chamber has the trip for that same purpose, but then he just opts and literally kills everything.
Now, Ten said all of that 6 months ago, and it wasn't until this past December that Riot finally took action against Baguette Boy and nerfed him to the point where he is balanced. Don't come at me, the man is balanced and situational like literally every other agent in the game, and I will not take any questions. Unless you're Konosuke Takeshita, then hey, I'm open all day to answer some questions, just let me know when you're free. And but this whole meta went on for so long that Valorant became a pretty stale game. And yeah, Pearl and Harbor came out during this time frame, but every single match I played, Chamber was most likely gonna be picked. When not a lot of content is released and your fan base has noticed a distinct lack of new content and tweaks, and you have this overarching meta that you can't seem to escape from, we're not having fun. And to everyone saying they released content, yeah, they released Harbor, Pearl, and a bunch of necessary tweaks. But in retrospect, with how much people play Valorant usually, it's not a lot of content. Decisions were made in 2022 that made Valorant, in the simplest terms, boring. Same different day, stale, unplayable, whatever you want to call it. It was almost like the game was still in its infancy, like it had yet to grow up. To sum it all up, I will leave it to this tweet. Seen a lot of people complaining about Valorant being stale lately. Valorant has been stale for about the last 6 months for me personally. We need more people in the community asking more of Riot. We need community maps, replay system, map select, avoid players, and more. Valorant needed to be saved from itself, and it all started with Chamber. With the Chamber nerf, we saw the return of other agents that had been pushed out of the meta. KJ and Cypher received necessary buffs that helped bring back our true Sentinels, literally bringing more agent diversity. In fact, it has worked so well that in the most recent qualifiers, he was one of the least picked agents. Speaking of what happened recently, we received a whole new map, Lotus.
Out of my way. They worked together? Guardians and people. Oh, there's still so much I don't know.
Lotus is special because it is the second map in Valorant history to have 3 bomb sites, the other being Haven, which we have had since forever, and has a cool little gimmick that I'll let this next clip show. The map is not only incredibly large in size, it has 2 rotating doors that can be activated to let anyone through for a period of time. They are also incredibly loud. Like, Riot, actually, please lower the sound of the doors. I cannot take that. I was literally using the doors to cover rotations. B bomb site is a very unique plant area, while all sites encourage diverse aggressions and defenses. But why does having a new map matter? What does this fix? How will this fix Valorant's issue of staleness? Well, despite the fact this is literally new content for us to consume, we are still, as a community, dealing with the aftermath of the Chamber meta. We are still thinking of new team comps, new ideas, and boom, a whole new map comes along along to encourage our thought process. Basically, there's so much to think about in terms of how the game could look. Lotus encourages us as players to think about what is possible and viable in-game that wasn't last year. When I was playing 10-mans this weekend, I had so much fun with creators like Average Jonas, who was working on new lineups for the map. And I mean across the map lineups. And with Split coming back with some minor tweakments, if you will, we will have to think about the map that we have not been able to see or play competitively for 6 months. And again, it comes at a time where Chamber is no longer a dominant pick. We can reimagine the Split comp. Is this an optimistic point of view? Yeah, maybe, but I would argue that's the best way to do things. If you are always pessimistic about your view of games, you're gonna be sheltered in your viewpoint. I think you should always be looking forward to what's next and what's exciting. 2022 was full of the same old Valorant. The most exciting things we had were a new map and new agent. Do you remember that Neon was released in the beginning of 2022? Because it certainly seems like longer ago to me. Now, the game is practically inviting us to re-envision what is possible, what we thought we knew. We won't have all of the answers right away, but I'm excited to play Valorant for the first time in a very long time. To be honest, I was only playing the game to keep my skills sharp and be still invested in the community for the sake of my job. I didn't like playing the game. But now I'm encouraged to play and try new things, and the community is ready for it too. And to have the new Valorant esports starting up at the exact same time, a perfect opportunity for the game to find new footing and rhythm. You might disagree with me. You might think, Liz, the game has always been exciting, you just haven't been trying hard enough. Or Liz, the game is still gonna be the same old boring game. This is no such thing as a perfect storm. And to each their own, that's your prerogative. Now, all we need is that damn replay system. Okay, so I posted like the compilation of just like my Konosuke Takeshita bits from last video, and I expected nothing from it. And then he said thank you with like a blushing emoji, and I was like, oh my God! I was like messaging all my friends. I was like, he noticed me. And then a little bit after that, he followed me back. Oh my God! Like, I'm a 24-year-old woman. I was absolutely having a 13-year-old freak out.